All right, this is the Community Business and Development. This is Monday, March 12th, 2018. I have Councilor Capone.
Here.
I have Councilor Florio.
Here.
I have Councilor Hillin.
Here.
I have Councilor McKinnon.
Here.
We have 4 members present. We do have a quorum.
4 members present, we do have a quorum. Please stand, salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Only piece of business. This is a ordinance offered by Council Peter Napolitano as president. Be it ordained by the City Council, City of Everett, Massachusetts, as follows, that it's in accordance with Chapter 18-163 of the revised ordinance of the City of Everett, that this following new subsection be accepted. Subsection C, an entity purchasing 5 or more annual meter stickers shall receive a 50% discount, resulting in a new cost of $165 per annual sticker. In number 1, issue 1 meter sticker at no cost to the president of the Everett Chamber of Commerce.
Councilor Hanlon.
Madam Chairman, are we to assume by this that a single parking ticket would be $335? Did I read that right?
I don't have the answers to everything, and I really don't want to answer because I'm not the parking clerk, but I believe the parking clerk was invited here, but our our city clerk, Sergio, if we could invite him up,
Motion to have our city clerk report.
Second.
maybe can answer some of the questions.
Good evening, councilors. Sergio Canelio, City Clerk.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, I guess,
Yes.
I'm reading here that it says if you purchase 5 or more, that you should receive a 50% discount resulting in a new cost of $165 per annual sticker. So that's 50%, 2 times that is $330. So a single ticket's gonna cost $330?
It was. Right, it does. For one individual ticket, it's $330, according to ordinance. It's $360 technically. We give the month of December free. I don't know if you know, we close meters for the month of December. It's historically done by the administration, so it's $330 for a yearly sticker. So this would cut it in half if you get 5 or more. So I think the idea of it was to help the local businesses with their employees parking, that have to come 4 or 5 days a week down into the square, not just the square, anywhere through the city that have meters, to allow them to park at a discounted rate. They'd still pay something, but they'd be allowed to park at a discounted rate. They wouldn't have to put coins in the meters. It makes it a little easier, more palatable for the business owners and their employees down in the squares and all through the city where there are parking meters.
Okay, thank you.
That's from my understanding. Again, I don't speak on behalf of the administration. This is the little information that I've received from the administration and the parking clerk. They would be more apt to answer this. I do know they're having something downstairs, so I don't want to speak for them, but I'm giving you the information that I have, just so you know. Also, just so you know, I believe on there, it was also to give a meter sticker to the chairman of the, okay, yep, just so you know, that was also part of, and this is to replace, it's going to add into the ordinance that is already existing.
Any further questions?
No?
Excuse
I
the
think you
customary
should stay,
thing?
just in case something comes up, the clerk should stay there.
Okay, I'll stay.
So with no further question, I'd like to make a couple of statements, and that is that we have had the businesses for so many years asking us to provide parking spaces for them and so on and so forth. And I agree with that, but I don't agree with it where it's located. I think we should provide off-street parking for them somewhere. If we do this, that we give them stickers to park in front of their store, then no one else will park in front of their store. There'll be no
Take away
customers
from
going
the
in, no
customers.
customers that can park there, and they will turn all their purchasing to some other place other than Everett Square, and that's not what they really want to do. So I really think we should think a lot more about this before we pass it, because that's really what's going to happen. And you see people that own stores now, they park right in front of their store, and they still complain about it, and it shouldn't be. We should give them, and I don't know, I don't have the answer to this, but somewhere off the square parking just for those kinds of employees that have these kinds of stickers, and you charge them that price for it, so it pays for itself all the time. We don't have to have other people going in to use that spot. And that would be just during normal working hours. So at night, that lot would be available for other people to park into, or early in the morning, people going to church, for instance, if it's near the square area, things like that we can do, so, anyway.
I'm sorry, from the chair, these parking stickers are for them only to park, do they still pay the meter?
No,
No.
so that's in lieu of the meter.
This is in lieu of the meter?
Correct. So instead of,
Okay.
right.
So
To make it more
that's all.
convenient for them.
You have a question?
I'm
was gonna
sorry,
say-
Counselor Hanlon.
I'm done, thank you.
Okay. Counselor Capone?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I was just going to echo the sentiments of Council Hanlon. We don't have anyone here from the administration to answer the questions about it. Location of parking is something that's good to think about. So unless, I think my colleague had a question, but I was going to make a motion to lay it on the table, grant further time, and invite someone from the administration and the parking clerk to our next meeting.
Okay,
Except we don't lay it on the table anymore. We postpone.
I think, sure, go ahead, Counselor McKinnon.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. To our clerk, through you, the open-air lots that we have adjacent to the city square, would they be a feasible
Yeah,
lot?
let's, sorry. Refresh my
Behind,
memory, I'm having
on
trouble.
Norwood Street, behind the,
The parking lot.
yeah,
Yep,
parking
yep,
lot. So
What about
that, I mean, that would probably be a feasible spot.
They're allowed, so, now, again, I don't fully understand the whole thing, so I don't want to tell you too much. But from what I understand, I believe it's at any meter. So it doesn't restrict them to just the street or just the lots. They can park at any metered spot for that.
We
direction.
can restrict them to that meter, correct?
You mean to an
To a lot.
area?
You can
For the
restrict them
lot?
to an area.
It is not written like that, but I would say that if you so
We-
chose,
we can
you could
amend
do
and
that.
then-
But currently, the way it's written, it is not, no. May I say something if
Yeah.
if you're not done?
Feel
If you're
free.
done. Yeah, two things. One, I do know that the parking department the employees have come over to me a few times because I think they almost expected this was already done. So they must have been told through the administration that this was coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe businesses are coming to them, asking them for the meters, one. Two, as much as I don't want you to send this to the meeting tonight and have a discussion, we know the administration will be here at 7 o'clock. And if they could give it you, I've given you a good amount of information. Maybe they can touch up on it, and you'll be able to vote up or down at the meeting. I would say, that's your choice,
Yeah.
but we already have a meeting. We have one in an hour. We know the CFO, the chief of staff, and a few others from the administration will be here. You could obviously send it to them and see if that, if they have the
I mean, my
information.
thing-
And then you could always refer it back to the committee if they didn't.
Yeah.
up to you.
My thing on it is if we're going to designate a section of meters, we should designate it, and that's where it's going to be. They're going to be there. So that we'd be hurting, I agree with my colleague that we would be hurting businesses
Well, but
if
so
we don't
this-
do that.
Yeah, no, and I agree. But don't forget, I'm saying the square. This isn't only the square. We have two squares.
Sure.
They both have lots. They both have meters. Then don't forget, we have Ferry Street. I don't know if much of Main Street has meters, but I know a
No.
good chunk of Ferry Street has it. Chelsea Street has some with metered lots. So it's
We would
not
have to
just dedicated
designate-
to a square. I think we're just trying to help businesses in certain locations that have these meters. And again, I don't want to touch upon too much that I'm fully not aware of, but I really think by sending it to the 7 o'clock meeting, getting some information, you can always refer it back to back to the committee if you don't like the answers at 7 o'clock. Just give the opportunity to the administration. We know they're having another dedication downstairs, and I don't want to speak on their behalf, and I want to give them that opportunity. I just think it's fair. But it's up to you as the committee, whatever you'd like to do.
What do you want to do?
I think that if we're talking about designated spots and locations, it's going to have to be rewritten. I think to send this to committee, send it back, it's like a yo-yo. It's absolutely going to come back. Because if we're looking to designate a location, we're going to have to rewrite the ordinance.
Right.
So we could have them back at our next meeting, and
Well,
we can address it then.
After we write the ordinance, that's what I would agree
Yeah.
to that, because there's no sense of going
Yeah.
through a meeting, being there for 5 hours, then after an hour of discussion, sending it back. Because this isn't a matter of just voting on it up and down, it's a matter of changing the
Yeah.
ordinance, so.
And our colleagues are going to have all kinds of questions.
Right.
And this one piece is going to take 45 minutes, and it's going to come back to committee.
If you're lucky,
So-
45 minutes.
So with that, I would say that we request further time from the body, and we'll invite someone from the administration, someone from the parking clerk's office. Is there anyone else? Yeah, so we can rewrite the ordinance, take a look at it. Well, look at it.
As the assistant city clerk said, if you have people working, working on Chelsea,
Yep.
they're not gonna walk
Right.
all the way over to that parking lot.
We might have to end
So,
up
like I
designating in
said,
different
there's
locations.
Unique situations,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
think that you need to be, talk to the other officials.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you start writing ordinance.
Sure.
I think, I
with
believe we
that-
should have the parking clerk
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
And tell us how many of these residential, how many of these tickets she's giving out, where they're located.
Mm-hmm.
If they're in Glendale Square, if they're on Ferry Street, and they're in Everett Square. If she says there's 5 in Everett Square, so we allocate 5 parking spaces in Everett
Sure.
Square. If she says there's 3 in Glendale Square, we
It
dedicate
would
3
be-
in Glendale
It would be
Square.
designated to where
Right.
they need to be.
Exactly.
And there'll be the designated
Yeah.
areas where they can park.
It'd be good to get an overview of where the meter's located,
Right.
how many meters in what neighborhood, and that way we could take another look at that as well.
Counselor Heelan?
Just another remark, too, is that we had MMA meeting, the Mass Municipal Association's meeting in January sometime, and this is one of the topics that they had, and I'll try to get the notes from that association. But what else they're talking about is split use, so that an area that is open, and they have parking, and when they close, the parking becomes available for the public, and vice versa, things like that. We also talked about where you're gonna take away this privileged parking of parking in front of their store, then the whole square should have a 2-hour limit, wherever you're gonna do this, so that, because people do not need longer than 2 hours to shop in Everett Square. It's not gonna be something where they're gonna go to visit all the stores and everything. So 2 hours would be a good thing. So this opens up the square even further, to prevent people that come, find a spot in the square and go into Boston, and come back later on, so it's worth it for them to park in Everett Square than to go into Boston, but.
They do this on Main Street all day long, I saw it all the time.
I know, yeah. So we need that. So that's what I just wanted to say, so we can use that too.
Okay, so the motion is to grant further time. Do I have a second? Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. You have granted further time.
Motion adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? You have adjourned.
Okay, very good.